Okay, we are now live.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call the meeting to order of Monday, March 14th, 2022, the Planning Commission meeting. And let's start with a Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a PowerPoint coming up? Jingbo, you want to get us started?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Jackie, if you could go ahead with the roll call.
Yes, Chair. Chair Klowitter.
I'm here.
Vice Chair Liu.
I'm here.
Commissioner Juarez.
Here.
Commissioner Mamdapurkar.
Here.
And Commissioner Schwartz.
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Okay, tonight's meeting is live streamed on cable channel 3 and other City of San Gabriel platforms. Please email all public comments to, and here's the address, it's pc-publiccomment@sgch.org. And no later than the time that the item is considered by the commission tonight. Comments received after the items have been considered will not be read into the record, so be timely. Those comments will be read by our executive assistant, Jackie Wong, and we'd like to keep them limited to 3 minutes each. And also our agenda items will be introduced by Jackie. Okay, now's the time for public comment. This is time for members of the public to address the Planning Commission on items that are not on the agenda tonight, but are within the subject matter and jurisdiction of our commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Planning Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as that matter would appear on a future agenda, but we'd love to hear from you. Jackie, do we have any comments?
Yes, Chairman Klowitter, we received one comment.
Okay.
And it is, yes, and it is from Chair Chastity Jennings Nunez from the HERE Commission. And she emails to the Planning Commission. Thank you, Commissioner Mamdapurkar, for ensuring that the HERE Commission and our contributions to the city in our first year were included in the General Plan Annual Progress Report for the 2021 calendar year. The support of and collaboration between the different city commissions is the way that we will build and progress our city. The HERE Commission looks forward to working with the Planning Commission as the city addresses housing development, housing insecurity, and affordable housing. That's the end of the comment.
Okay, very good. Anag, that was a good pickup, and we appreciate that.
Welcome, Chair. It's a team effort.
All right. Okay, our consent calendar. We have a single item, and that is the approval of the minutes from our February 14th meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes, and do we have any comments? Go ahead, Anag.
I'd like to abstain from the approval of the meeting minutes since I had to recuse myself for the last portion of the item. Thank you.
But everything else seemed to be in order except for what you weren't there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. No other comments?
I'll move to adopt the meeting minutes from February 14th.
Okay, second, anybody?
I'll second.
Okay, Jerry and Jackie, do we have a vote?
Okay, let's start with Chair Klowitter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Liu,
Yes.
Commissioner Juarez.
I'm going to abstain as I was not at that meeting.
Okay, thank you. And so is Commissioner Mamdapurkar. So let's go to Commissioner Schwartz.
Yes.
Okay, the vote is 3-0. Motion passed.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, tonight's public hearing guidelines. Let's see, Samantha, you want to take us through that, please?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Good evening. Thank you for participating and tuning into tonight's Planning Commission meeting. My name is Samantha T. Wassart, Planning Manager with the Community Development Department. There's one public hearing item to be considered by the Planning Commission tonight. Copies of the agenda and the staff report for tonight's hearing are available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com. If you wish to comment on the item, please email the public comment to pc-publiccomment@sgch.org no later than the time the item is considered by the Planning Commission tonight. Comments received after the item has been considered will not be read into the record. For the item tonight, staff will provide a summary of the staff report, followed by any clarifying questions from the Commission. Then the public hearing will be open and the recording secretary will begin reading aloud the public comments that have been received during the hearing. Each comment will be read for up to 3 minutes. Prior to the close of the public hearing, the Commission may consider additional questions of staff. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment has ended. Once the public hearing portion is closed, the item will move into Commission deliberation. Chairman, at this time, staff is ready to present agenda item 3A.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. We have a single item tonight, and that is planning case number CUP 21-006. This is for a conditional use permit. Address is 730 East Las Tunas Drive. And the applicant is, and I'm gonna butcher this name, I'm so sorry, but it's Atabak Yosef Zaden. And I believe Anthony has the staff report. Anthony, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Quitter. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. The public hearing item before you tonight is for a conditional use permit to allow the off-site sale of beer and wine for a Type 20 ABC license at the address 730 East Las Tunas Drive. Planning case number CUP 21-006. Slide number 2, please. The proposed project site is located on the southwest corner of East Las Tunas Drive and San Gabriel Boulevard. Slide number 3, please. The property is located in the C1 commercial retail zone and has a general plan land use designation of general commercial. Slide number 4, please. The current business is occupied by a mobile gas station that has a small sales area slash snack shop attached to three automobile service station bays. The site plan review application for SPR 21-096 was filed on September 1st, 2021 to convert the existing automobile service stations into and expand the snack shop into a larger convenience store. A rendering was attached at the bottom that kind of shows what the project will look like. The applicant is also proposing to include a 107 square foot addition to the northeast corner of the building as shown on the floor plans that will come up on the next slides. The site plan review application was approved and the applicant has not yet submitted to building plan check, but will need to go through the building plan check process as well. Slide number 5, please. This slide will show the site plan as proposed with the new convenience store remodel. Some of the site work has been changed in order to address things like parking, landscaping for the project site, as well as showing the driveway orientation. Slide number 6, please. This slide is just showing the interior floor plan of the convenience store. The applicant is proposing to add the off sale of beer and wine for a type 20 ABC license to the convenience store. The business is currently operating from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. 7 days a week. The applicant is proposing to expand on the operation hours to being open 24 hours a day. However, alcohol sales would be limited from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. And this has also been included in the conditions of approval for the meeting tonight. Slide number 7, please. San Gabriel Municipal Code Section 153.162 states that when determining whether to approve a CUP application for alcohol beverage sales, the Planning Commission shall consider the nature of the use within 500 feet of the use, in particular, similar uses, residences, parks, schools, and churches. Staff did look at the surrounding neighborhoods and found that there are residences approximately 440 feet to the southeast and 450 feet to the west of the subject site, as well as the San Gabriel Community Church and Christian School being located approximately 265 feet to the northwest of the subject site along Las Tunas Drive. With that, however, conditions of approval have been included to limit the hours of the sale of alcoholic beverages, as well as requiring conditions of approval from the San Gabriel Police Department. Staff is proposing a condition of approval to prevent any kind of loitering from taking place on site, as well as the hours of operation or the hours of sale of the alcoholic beverages. Slide number 8, please. Thank you. The general plan land use designation is general commercial, and based on the general plan, the proposed project follows economic goal 4.1 and economic goal 4.2. Slide number 9, please. These are a list of the findings that must be made for CUPs that are requesting the sale of alcoholic beverages. These findings were made in the resolution for the staff report tonight. Slide number 10, please. This project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and was found to be exempt from CEQA per guideline section 15301, class 1 for existing facilities. Slide number 11, please. This item was required to be noticed for tonight's meeting, and it was done in the following ways. Notices were sent out to property owners within a 500-foot radius of the subject site, as well as having a notice posted at the subject site, which is shown in the image on the slideshow in front. Notice was posted in the issue of the March 3rd, 2022 San Gabriel Sun newspaper, as well as having the Planning Commission agendas posted at the City Hall, Post Office, and Public Library. Slide number 12, please. Thank you. Okay, and it is with that staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number CUP 21-006 for a conditional use permit at 730 East Las Tunas Drive to allow for the off-site sale of beer and wine at an existing gas station, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. This will conclude staff's presentation. Staff is available for any questions that the commission might have, and we also do have the someone from the applicant team on the line. I believe Simon, the business owner, is on the line. I'm not too sure if Adabak, the architect, is on the line, but we do have someone on the line to answer any questions on behalf of the applicant. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Commissioners, any comments, any questions for staff before we get to the applicant?
No.
Jingbo?
I have one question for the operating hours. So from 10 a.m. to midnight, the midnight stopping sales, is that a typical what we do in the city, or just general rule for 10 o'clock? It's just a question.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Vice Chair. So that was actually hours that the applicant had proposed. So the applicant proposed those hours, and it was routed like that to the police department, and that's how the police department approved the project. If at any time the applicant wishes to amend those hours at all, we would have to go through the route of bringing it back to Planning Commission to consider that.
Okay. I know the state, the last sale is at 2 o'clock in the morning, but most of business practice at midnight. So it's just, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Go ahead, Anand.
Hey, Anthony. I was curious about my question regarding the food vendor seen on the parking lot on Sunday. Is the food vendor, did you know if they have a license to operate in that location? Or it has the applicant or the property owner allowing them to continue to have their services at that location from now till if this application is approved?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Monaporcar. So that is something that I did discuss with the applicant earlier today, and when he comes online, he could kind of elaborate on that a little bit more. But in general, the food vendor would have to go through the process of getting that approved, getting the zoning clearance first, and then if it is approved at the zoning, they would have to apply for a business license and even a health department license or a health department permit. Sorry, they have not gone through those routes yet, so they are going to have to stop operations until they go through the proper channels, the proper approval process.
And does the applicant or the property owner know when that will stop?
We could definitely get the applicant to address that when he comes on right now. But it is something that was brought up to the code enforcement. So code enforcement will also be reaching out to the applicant to making sure that ceases operation as soon as possible.
Okay, if we don't have any more questions, let's bring the applicant in. Can we get your name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Simon Shirazi, and the address is 730 East Las Tunas Drive in San Gabriel, 91776.
Okay, Simon, do you want to address that the food truck issue?
Oh, yeah. So the food truck issue, so that's a vendor that's independent from us, and they came up to me about I want to say a month or two, about 2 months ago. And at the time, I believe they did, they're a food truck, so they're mobile. And I believe at the time they showed me that they had some type of permit. I don't know if it was specific to San Gabriel, but they did have, their permit at the time. And I'm also an insurance broker. So he did provide some insurance information. And at that point, I, allowed him to, operate in the area. And after I spoke to Anthony, and he told me that they don't have any permits or anything that's within the San Gabriel city. I told him I have no problem, advising them that they either have to obtain it immediately, or if they don't, they won't be able to operate there. We don't have anything, there's no lease long term, so it just I can have no problem telling them to either, like I said, get the permits that are necessary or just relocate. Okay,
very good. Have you had a chance to review the conditions of approval, Simon?
Yeah. Anthony was amazing and went over everything with me, and I have no problem with the conditions of approval.
Okay, very good. Commissioners, anybody else have a comment or question?
Mr. President, what form of ownership is this station? Is it company owned? Is it franchise? Is it independent? Is the applicant the actual owner?
Yeah, so it's a franchise, and my father-in-law and I, we're the owners.
Okay.
So it's a mobile station. So, you know, mobile is the actual company, and then we own the franchise and we own the property.
Okay. So the business is yours, but you have to operate it as under conditions of mobile's franchise agreement, correct?
Exactly.
That's all. That's all.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, if not, let's go ahead and open this up for public comment. And Jackie, have you received anything?
No, Chair, we did not receive any comment for this item.
Okay.
Just, Chair, just for the record, that you were opening the public hearing for this item, which is a requirement.
I thought I just did.
Okay.
So yeah, so I will now close it. Okay, thanks. Okay, let's open this up for commissioner discussion. Do we have any feelings on this? Jingbo, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'll talk. Yeah, I went to the site. I know the mobile station very well. It's a really interesting located. You know, it's right between this one small strip mall and a supermarket. And I did feel the existing little retail space is very, very tight. And I felt, yeah, with that less of the need for small checks or repair shops, I think it opened up a more convenience store. Looks like it's an improvement to the some sort of improvement to the corner. So I kind of feel happy with this change. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Jingbo. Anybody else? Mark?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that they're going to improve the site, and the new building looks attractive and so forth, much more so than the building that's there now is, you know, seeing its better times. It's been there a while. My concern actually, and I said with this last week's is, you know, my big thing for San Gabriel being a lifelong resident, you know, 54 years, is quality of life. And so my concerns are, you know, knowing how behavior operates, you provide more access, you create more use. And I'm speaking about the alcohol permit. So last week we gave a meat market an alcohol permit. And this week there's a proposal to give, of all things, a gas station. To me, that's like, you know, I don't know, I can't think of a good analogy, but of all locations I would not want alcohol to be provided, it would be at a gas station. And I guess the worst place would be on a freeway or something, I don't know. So that is my concern, that with a tiny bit of sales tax revenue we might generate, how much are we degrading quality of life by putting more alcohol users in? I mean, again, access is use. So we create more access, we create more use. So that's my consideration. I understand there'll be differing opinions. I know we already have the union on Del Mar and Las Tunas just redone and selling alcohol, but I don't see how taking another step toward increased access to alcohol is going to improve our community. I think it's going to do quite exactly the opposite. So that's, I guess that's more of a statement than a question. So.
That's fine. Thanks, Mark. Anybody else? Anand?
Well, for the business to have its opportunity to improve itself. It looks like they've submitted plans or planning to submit plans to expand their buildings usage and find better ways to utilize the open space that they have. My concern is falling back with this food vendor. Well, I have my only issue is I would like to at least include verbiage that will allow City of San Gabriel's enforcement division as well as planning commission to be able to come back and verify that once all the renovations, all the necessary needs are done, when the permit is pulled, that in 6 months they come back and check if there's no issues regarding vendors that don't have license or permits. So that'd be my only that would be generally my concern, is just being able to having something that San Gabriel enforcement as well as planning has some teeth to be able to come back, and if they need to, they can cancel the ABC permit.
So specifically 6 months, Anand?
6 months, a year, however, how does planning or commission sees it? Maybe 1 year after the permit has been pulled out, or 2,
There's normally a callback if there's an issue.
Yeah.
But we can certainly write something in that says 6 months is probably too soon. I would say a year. Plus, it looks to me like they've got quite a bit of construction ahead of them. So, would you agree with a year? Or callback?
A year. That sounds good, Commissioner.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
That's my only comment towards the location. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Anand. Jerry?
Yeah, with the addition of the 1-year review, ANAC has just proposed. I otherwise think the project is reasonable. I know the location well, and the improvements to the property are good, and so I don't see any reason why not to approve it.
Okay, thanks. All right. Okay. My feeling on this is first of all, I think it's an improvement for the corner. The existing facility is pretty tired, and it looks like converting the service areas into a more serviceable market is going to increase the convenience for the community. One less stop on the way home is probably not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, if we don't have any other comments.
One last thing I just want to say.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
For the record,
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly from the staff presentation, and again, just for the record, I believe we have 2 churches in the notice radius. We have a convalescent home of some sort, several residences, as well as other liquor vending outlets. We have 168 Market, we have CVS, we have the market. I call it the old Safeway Market there on San Gabriel. That's how long I've been around. It's a Safeway. And as well as restaurants that also have licenses as well. So there's already a lot of accessible alcohol there, and you have some incompatible uses like the church, which I believe has a preschool, if not an elementary school, and so forth. So, just for the record, that's I just wanted in the record.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Chingbo?
I would just to follow Mark's comments. I'm in the business. I know beer and wine is probably not the same as liquor sales. So it's one of the necessity for a convenience store. I guess it's one part of the convenience store as they want to do. I'm saying that it's also it's a non-on-site consumption store. It's just go to there and take it home. I felt it was pretty simple and a standard item for a convenience stores to do a beer and wine only. So that's just my comments to that. To what Mark said. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jingbo. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move to adopt a resolution approving planning case number CUP 21-006 for a conditional use permit to allow the off-site sale of beer and wine and grant the determination of public convenience or necessity for on sale of alcohol at 730 East Las Tunas Drive, subject to the recommended conditions of approval, with the addition of a 1-year callback on this. If staff could make a note to run this by us after a year to make sure that the conditions are being met and that there's no additional businesses being run off of the site.
And
If I may share, go ahead.
Sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to get some clarification on that as I note that down. So I have the 1 year. Is that 1 year from the planning commission approval, 1 year from the permit issued, or 1 year from the basically the final building sign off construction?
No, let's go 1 year from, Anag, you might want to weigh in on this, but I would say a year from opening, from the final sign off.
Building sign off with.
You know how development goes.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Chair. Once the convenience store has done all the upgrades, definitely it'll be an attraction. And at that point, we would want to double check if all the permits from any food vendor shows up that everything's kosher.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right.
Chair, may I also, yes, thank you, Chair. May I also recommend that would be added as condition 21 with a clear understanding and maybe even some verbiage in there that this 1 year review from the COs being issued does not preclude either staff, the police department, from enforcing the conditions of this CUP prior to that time.
Absolutely.
In other words, the obligation to these conditions exists from the time that it's, and I would not prevent the city to, by setting actually fairly arbitrary date of review a year after the COs. So include, if it's agreeable to the commissioners, if we can include some language, obviously the continued compliance with all the laws and that are applicable to the operation and with the conditions of the should and can be enforced prior to that 1 year review.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to preclude any of the other requirements that are spelled out in the conditions. So I would agree with that if we don't have any disagreement on the commission. Okay, do we have a second?
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, Jackie, we'll go for a vote.
Chair Klobuchar,
Yes.
Vice Chair Liu,
Yes.
Commissioner Juarez,
No.
Commissioner Mamdapurkar,
Yes.
and Commissioner Schwartz.
Yes.
Vote is 4 yes, 1 no, and motion carried.
Great, thank you, Jackie. And congratulations to the applicant. Good luck with your renovation and your continued service to the city of San Gabriel. Good luck.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And I know I won't let you guys down. I do want to improve the overall corner and make things convenient for the city of San Gabriel.
Great. Thanks, Simon. We appreciate that.
Thank you guys.
Okay, moving on to item number 4. Samantha, do you have any issues or comments or upcoming events? Anything that you want to share?
No project updates, Chairman and members of the commission, but just a quick introduction of Martin Kazanowicz. He'll be taking over for Norma Tabares from the City Attorney's Office. So wanted to make a quick mention of that since we will not be seeing Norma at the meetings anymore. But we welcome Martin and we'll miss Norma.
Thank you. Glad to report.
Martin, did you want to say a few words or welcome?
Thank you. I'm honored to be able to assist and help. I've been working with staff mostly in the background over the last year and a half. But I look forward to working with the commission, as the point person for the city attorney's office. I also have known Keith for many years, and I'm glad to be a part of the team. So thank you very much for welcoming me.
Very good. Welcome. Thank you, Martin. Okay, commissioners, any comments?
Yes, Samantha, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Last month you said you were having interviews for senior planner. Can you tell us how that's going?
Yes, thank you for the question, Commissioner Swartz. We did select a candidate for the position, so hopefully we can provide an introduction of that candidate at the next Planning Commission meeting.
Very good. Okay. Anybody else? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Just some additional comments because this is the second week in a row we've had alcohol permits come up, and just FYI, there are communities, our neighbors, who do not permit alcohol sales at sites that sell gasoline. Okay, so it's not a way out there policy. I liken alcohol permits to thinking of, I'm a therapist and behavior, psychologist and so forth. I liken alcohol permits to shaving a micron off of the brake pads of your car, right? And you do it once and you don't see any effect at all. It's not even worth talking about. But when you make it a policy and you keep shaving and shaving and shaving, pretty soon those brakes aren't very efficient. And pretty soon they don't stop at all. And that's what happened to communities who allowed alcohol permits to proliferate. And I know we're not near there, we're not South Central, or they call it South now, but I don't want us to even get close. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. I have a track record of voting against the combination of gasoline and alcohol. And alcohol is, the analogy of alcohol and brakes, alcohol is the anti-brake. In other words, it takes the brakes off of behavior. And so the more alcohol your community has, ingested, the less restricted, less restrained the behaviors are. More crime, more everything, basically. So that's where I'm coming from. To approve this one site is not going to change our community, but to continue to do this will, and that's my perspective. That's why I respect everyone else's opinion, and you guys have been on the commission a lot longer than me, and so you've seen all the other projects coming, and I'm just now getting on board with all these projects that you've been looking at for a long time. But that's where I'm coming from, and that's what I want for San Gabriel, a stable, community, not just an affordable place to live, but a place people want to live. And unfortunately, in the community right now, not all the community is a place where everyone wants to live, and I'm hoping that will change.
Appreciate your opinions, and all we can ask is that you vote with your conscience. So, and we appreciate that. Okay, if there are no other comments, I'm going to adjourn the meeting until our next meeting is scheduled for April 11th at 6:30, and we'll see where that is. Anyway, thank you all very much, and I'm sure we'll have more news as the month goes on.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Very short meeting, 40 minutes.
That's almost a record.